The school system is designed to keep people poor and mediocre. It was never designed so you could become rich and live a life full of prosperity. It was designed to raise employees that are obedient and never dream big. And if you want to change that programming, you'd better watch until the end of the video because no one is coming to save you. Here are 8 money secrets they don't teach you in school. Money loses value over time. Money has 3 important attributes: a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and the most important one, a store of value. Let's explain each of these in a short sentence. So medium exchange means that money has to be fluid and easy to exchange for goods and services. The unit of account aspect helps people to identify how much a thing costs compared to another thing. But why would people accept to trade banknotes for goods and services instead of seashells, for example? Well, because of the third attribute. Money must also be a good store of value, which means it keeps its worth over time so you can save and spend it later. And we all know that the third attribute isn't really present anymore, and the cost of that is high inflation. So for example, if in 2023 the price you paid for a dozen eggs was $2.86 in 2024, you're actually paying $3.27, a 14% increase. And if you look at this table which tracks the price of eggs from 1980, well, things look even worse. Some will tell you the average salary has also increased over time, which is a fair argument, but that's not true. Does not solve the store of value dilemma. So if decades ago saving money was an option for retirement, now this strategy will only make you poor. And this leads smoothly on to our next point. Saving makes you poor. Money is a tool, it's not a trophy. If you're simply stashing it away in a savings account, you're treating it like a shiny object to be admired from afar, when really it should be on the playing field scoring points for your team. Allow us to explain. So with savings, yes, you're preserving your money and maybe even getting a tiny bit of interest from the bank. However, it's hardly enough to beat inflation, which eats away at the value of your money year after year. Investing, on the other hand, is how wealth is created in an era of fiat money, and understanding this will put you ahead of those who still don't get it. Stocks, bonds, and real estate are the most common forms of investments. The goal is growth and the strategy is patience mixed in with calculated risk-taking. The real clincher here is compound interest. When you invest, your money can earn interest, and then that interest earns interest, and so on. Over time, this snowballs, leading to exponential growth. Yes, investing has its risks. With some financial knowledge and strategy, you can mitigate those risks. Diversify your investments, hold for the long term, and understand your risk tolerance. And if you follow and apply all these steps, you might one day have a seat at the big kid table. And the big kids, they perfectly know that. The central banks control everything. Think about the central banks as a lifeline for the economy, a built-in feature that is there by design. You see, every dollar, euro, yen, you name it, is created by a central bank. Whether we're talking about the Federal Reserve or the CB, understanding how these institutions operate is key to unlocking your finance self-awareness. They not only print money, but they also manipulate consumer behavior. Because they control the money supply, they control your life and how and when you spend your resources. So because you want to preserve your wealth, you've got no other choice but to play by their rules. Central banks manipulate the money supply through a number of tools, the most common ones being open market operations, changing the reserve requirements, and changing the discount rate. And through these instruments, they nudge banks, businesses, and ultimately us individuals to either spend, save, or invest. Understanding this is powerful because this economic machine depends on the unawareness of the citizens. The invisible hand, as Adam Smith called it. Only our situation is centralized and not invisible at all, which means the free market concept does not exist in our economy. The difference between credit and cash. So first and foremost, cash is king. This phrase has been imprinted in the minds of many, and for good reason. When you possess cash, you maintain ultimate control over your finances. Cash allows immediate transaction closure without any future liabilities. It reflects on your liquid assets or how much you truly own at any given moment. On the flip side, though, credit is a powerful tool only when wielded wisely. And most people don't use it wisely at all, not even the government. It is the trust that allows one party to provide resources to another party, wherein the second party does not reimburse the first party immediately, but promises to either repay or return those resources at a later date. Think about credit as your financial reputation. It showcases your ability to handle debt and can assist in facilitating large purchases, building businesses, and managing unexpected expenses. However, credit comes with an underlying cost. The interest, and most people have no idea if they can afford to pay it. And if you want to master the rules of finance like a pro, you know how to play with both. Credit, like cash, is a tool, and if you know how to take advantage of it, you have nothing stopping you from building that generational wealth. Money is tied to value. Naval Ravikant, one of the most successful angel investors in the world, once famously said, "You will get rich by giving society what it wants but does not, yet know how to get at scale." Value creation isn't a one-time windfall, it's a process, a constant cycle of identifying needs, providing solutions, and repeating at scale. And when it comes to distributing this value, the magic lies in making sure it reaches the right places. And you do that by building trust, having a great product, and doing good marketing. The cycle of value creation and distribution fuels not only individual prosperity, but also societal growth as well. And in the grand scheme of things, the ones who master the rules are not those who accumulate wealth at the expense of others, but those who enrich themselves by enriching society. This is all based on the law of supply and demand, which is key to unlocking 99% of all financial wisdom. A monthly salary equals addiction. In his book, The Bed of Procrasts, Nassim Taleb said it better than anyone ever could. The three most harmful addictions are heroin, carbohydrates, and a monthly salary. Now you might wonder, why did he include a monthly salary alongside substances that have direct physical impacts? Well, it's because of the physiological dependency that a fixed income can induce. It breeds a certain complacency and aversion to risk-taking that will limit your ability to reach your full potential. Just as it's easy to fall into a routine, it's easy to become addicted to the security of a monthly salary. But remember, significant wealth rarely comes from routine. Instead, it often is a result of taking calculated risks, from embracing the uncertainty of entrepreneurship, investments, and innovation. It requires stepping out of the comfort zone of a regular paycheck and exploring the vast, sometimes volatile, but potentially rewarding realm of financial opportunities. In the grand scheme of wealth creation, a monthly salary is but one instrument, a starting point perhaps, but rarely the final destination. The path to wealth requires you to dare, to innovate, and to venture where others hesitate. Remember, you'll never get rich and remain sane at the same time by working for someone else. And in the future, because of the disruptive effects that AI has and will have on the job market, everyone will be an entrepreneur, so you better start preparing accordingly. How to keep your money from flying out of your pockets. There's a quote from the famous movie Fight Club that explains this in one direct but deeply meaningful sentence. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. And yes, Tyler Durden is right here. The moment you step out of the door of your apartment, everyone is trying to sell you something. That's the whole purpose of marketing and advertising, to persuade you to the point where you can't imagine your life without a certain product. But what happens after the impulse buying dopamine wears off? You're left with something you probably are not going to use very often. There are things that will upgrade your life and things that are nice to have, and understanding the difference is the key to building and preserving your wealth. Why money needs to flow through the economy. If fiat money becomes stationary, that's bad for both the hoarder and the economy. Money needs to move around an economy because it enables business activities, consumer purchases, and investment opportunities. Think about it like this. When you pay for a service, buy a product, or invest in a business, you're moving money from your possession to someone else's. This movement is vital because it allows businesses to earn a revenue, pay their employees, and invest in growth, which in turn helps to stimulate the economy. At the same time, money also needs to leave the economy. This happens when businesses or individuals invest in foreign markets, buy goods or services from other countries, or pay off foreign debt. These actions help to prevent too much money from accumulating in one place, which can cause economic problems like inflation. They also help to create diverse investment opportunities and strong international trade relationships. So, it's important to understand this because, for example, if you've got cash flow, you can continue to reinvest your profits and multiply the revenue in your business. And this also applies to investing. If you want to make money, you need to first be prepared to let go of it and have it multiply out in the economy.